So what's up?
Nothing much. You?
It could be better.
True that.
Pretty cool to see you.
Yeah. Pretty good to see you too. It's been a while.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Indeed.
It's been a long. Welcome to Worst Impressions. I am your host, Eric Anderson, and I've got a very special guest with me here tonight, Randy Dockendorf.
Hello.
Are you nervous? Are you nervous about being here for the first time?
No.
It's like, should I be?
Should I?
What are you about to ask me? Oh, man. We got Randy Red. Sexy Randy Red. Bend that ass over, let that coochie breathe. You know what song that's from? You know what song that's from?
Is that WAP? Oh.
It's close. That's Rich Baby Daddy for Drake and Sexy Red. You don't know this stuff, dude? Bend that ass over, let that coochie breathe. Oh, man. That's funny because right before we started, I was like, hey man, just, don't use any curse words in the first 5 minutes. And I was like, I'll probably break that rule myself.
And here he is just telling me to bend that ass over and let that coochie breathe.
Oh.
That coochie be airing out.
Bend that ass over, let that coochie breathe. Dude, people are gonna be pumped to see you on here, dude, just so you know. I know we don't have a studio audience to like clap you in or anything, but
We'll just cut over to the Monty Python elderly women just
exactly. So, Mr. Randy,
yes.
Dockendorf. All of the consonants are pronounced, you said?
Yes. Every letter
single damn one of them.
Thank those Southern Germans for being like, makes sense.
Thank those Southern Germans. Okay, so let's go back to the very beginning. It's the first time you're here on WIMP Nation, WIMP Universe. How were you made? Traditionally, I hope. So you weren't planted here by an alien race, were you? As many accuse you of.
Well, you see, my mummy and my daddy loved each other very much and gave each other a special hug.
Oh. What's a special hug, Randy? Just keep. Okay. Let's go to year one, perhaps.
You mean with Jack Black?
yes, Jack Black and Michael Cera. Good reference.
That's a perfect retelling of my.
You were a caveman at year one.
Yeah.
So yeah, how was your childhood? Let's go to the deep dark. No. But
Go full in, like, nope.
what?
All that drama.
Yeah. So like, I know who you have become. Who have you have became? Tell me how that all came to be.
Well, so I can't say a normal child. I was like freakishly tall, but that's just normal, like my family genetics, where it's like everybody just
They're all tall.
they're all tall,
Really?
like all men, women,
the children.
the children. Yeah.
The children.
That's a long baby. It's like, oh yeah, that's Steven.
That's old Long John Silver for you.
Skitters up the wall. It's fine. He's finding a nice, cool place in the air, Doc. It's all right. Yeah, but
So you're all tall.
yeah,
Are there a lot of athletes in that family?
no,
I'm sorry, sir.
no, a bunch of spindly Johnnies with no hand-eye coordination. Like having Slender Man out there in the football field, like, catch.
Just rude mother-in-laws, a bunch of spindly Johnnies. Can't catch a ball.
It's like, oh, I thought it was a tree. It moved.
It's like, hey, we're here for int number 3, the battle of Isengard. It's like, I'm right here, lumbering in.
I was like, oh, I'm just the delivery guy. But you're perfect.
He's like, whoa! It's like, I have the pizzas.
And so just going off a height, this is in middle school, I wasn't in athletics. I was in like PE.
Yeah.
And it was day 1. And I'm like, okay, where's my locker? Here's my locker. And I'm right there next to a classroom. And one of the coaches turns the corner and just like stares at me for a long time. I'm like, hello, sir. I'm like trying to like figure out my lock combination because they don't give you like any prep before anything. They're like, here's your lock combination. You have 5 minutes. And you're like, okay. So I'm like trying to fiddle with this.
Yeah.
And then this coach is staring at me the entire time. I'm like, hi, sir. And he goes, you in basketball? Like, no. You should be. And I just went, okay. He's like, you should be. And walked away. And then I just went, okay. And so later that day, I was like, can I change my schedule? I've been told I need to be in athletics. And I sucked at basketball.
So you were thrown in there? You actually did do it?
Yeah, I did it. Not for me.
Yeah,
It was more of like, he's tall enough.
Right.
Go defend the basket. So it's just like somebody try to shoot.
Yeah, you were
That-
what are like tower guy? I fucking fine know. Like
I
I'm
have-
like I'm about to try to answer the question.
No, I have no idea. Like I've heard a couple like terms of basketball, but I don't know
Some
this enough.
fiddly terms.
The point guard's like, that's not what a point guard. Like, what a fucking idiot. I don't even know what a point guard. What a fucking noob. I was like, why don't you play any like EA sports games or anything like that? Why don't you just do that? Like, no, so yeah, I ended up hating basketball.
Sure.
But all my friends were like, you should do football. So the next semester, I was like, I'm going to do football. And I was decent at it, but it was more of like, essentially throwing a kid who has never played like the sport, doesn't watch the sport, going, I'm going to do football. And everybody's saying terms at you. And you're like, me?
Me?
I'm
Me?
supposed to do it?
Yeah.
So I just went with guy with ball, tackle him. And I went, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And the coaches came with so many different like random nicknames that they call like Randy Dandy. Then became Dandy. Dandelion. I got Dandelion because I just took one of the linemen. I put my arms like this on his shoulder pads. I launched myself over him to get the quarterback who had the ball. The quarterback was pissed because he was like, you're not supposed to get me. I was like, you went too slow.
Yeah.
I just know, get guy with ball.
It's like,
me sportsman now.
Me sportsman now.
It's like guy with ball. It's like, get guy with ball. Tackle him. Bring him down. Crush your enemies.
Bring him down. Down to the ground.
What is best in life? Crush your enemies. Hear the lamentation of their women. I forget the other one. I priced it down in order.
We haven't had many Arnolds on here, actually. So
really,
give us your best. Give us some more Arnold. So Arnold, you've. I need you to get that guy and that guy. What's gonna stop you?
So I come out there and I'm the governor of California at the time, and I get myself in the position and I'm just like Lou Ferrigno, I'm coming for you. I'm pumping iron and I'm coming. I'm coming. And so I take my hands, and he's a little man. He's a wee little man. And I launch myself over him, and I crush him.
What the fuck am I doing with my life?
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want
I
here.
love it that everybody goes,
Yeah.
He never has really done that except for like
Maybe in
when he's
Predator.
getting tortured.
Yes, like he's getting was it a Total Recall where he's getting
I was thinking Total
Yeah.
Recall.
and he's got the fear and he's just
Maybe when he's like, it's the nightmare and he's like, stuff like his head's about to explode
Mhm.
on Mars. He's like, everybody just went like, oh yeah, like
The chopper. Oh, it's the Predator.
that was
That's what? So moving on. So that was your middle school. When did you? Because we went to the same high school.
Yes.
When did you get the itch for theater? Like what kind of sparked all of that? If you could, for one second, just move it a tiny bit closer to you. Yeah. So when you're quiet, perfect.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Okay.
So yes, high school. Was it high school or was it before high school?
So it was high school, and initially I was wanting to do it my freshman year,
okay.
but because unless you were in the inner circle of theater, you had no idea when any of these auditions and everything went on.
It's true. That's 100% true.
I was in athletics at the time still because it was essentially the final like death throngs of my entire athletic career in school. So that summer, like a month or so before the school semester started, I actually ended up with a really awful case of pneumonia.
Oh my
And
God.
so I had like 3/4 of one lung and then a third of another lung filled up with
Yeah. I just
filled up with fluids.
Mhm.
And they were like, yeah, you can't leave the hospital.
Oh,
You're
wow.
gonna like they thought I had whooping cough, and so they quarantined me, and then that was a whole drama in itself. But I missed like the entirety of the lead up, the summer sort of like we're getting ready to like finding out
Yeah.
everybody's positions.
Absolutely.
So by the time I got in, I couldn't do any of that stuff because they were like, yeah, doctor's orders, you can't do any of that shit. You need to like stand off to the side. So they gave me the athletic, like, okay, here's your blue shirt, here's your blue shorts. You're just gonna stand off to the side. I just got sunburned the entire time I was there.
Oh wow.
And then they were like, okay, so you weren't here for any of this stuff. You couldn't do any of this stuff. So we're gonna put you in special teams sometimes.
Yeah.
So I
yeah.
mostly was just kind of a bench warmer my freshman year.
Yeah, who wasn't?
And oh yeah, they had like probably 150 people, like the ridiculous amount of people.
Send them all to the slaughter and see who comes out the other end, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just went, yeah, this just isn't for me. And then I was doing like working in the weight room, and a coach was telling me like, no, you need to do it. You need to do it like this. And I was like, that's gonna screw up your back. He's like, you need to go faster and like harder and all that. And I'm like, dude, like I am
fucking relaxed.
I'm not like built like a Tolkien dwarf. Like,
Yeah.
I like, it needs to be done a certain way. And he's like really pushing me. So I did it and like screwed my back up. Went to the doctor.
Oh my God.
Doctor was like, yeah, your back's screwed up. You can't like lift weights or do this kind of stuff. Or like you can lift weights, but it can only be like little dumbbells.
Damn.
So I was like, okay, cool. And it came down to like the end of that half of the school year. And so we had like our finals essentially, and what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to like, oh, what's your max? And I'm like,
yeah,
doctor, so I can't do too much of a max.
Mhm.
And so I was only doing like a couple things here and there, and I was like, I can't do that, so this is gonna be like NA. And just having a coach like, you've just been off to the sides this entire time, you need to do something. I was like, dude, I can't do that. I'm like, I told him I could probably do the bar and that's it, and he just
Right.
went bullshit.
Yeah.
And just like packed it up with weight.
Oh my God.
And told
Even
me
with a doctor's note?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like this guy, like he got fired shortly after like
Hell
that.
yeah.
Even then, so I went down to the squat and I started to come up and I just felt something pop.
Dude.
And because one of the other coaches who like pretty much like knew I had the note and everything like that comes over and is like, Dr. what the fuck you doing? And I was like, he told me I had, so I'm doing that and I'm coming up and dead quiet, pop. And he like not even skipping a beat, just goes, grab him.
Oh.
And like the two guys who are like there to support, like grab the weight. He holds
spotters.
me and they get up. Had to go back to the doctor again. The doctor's like, I fucking told you
Dude,
to not do that. And I was like,
terrible.
the coach like told me. So I had to just, that was like the final straw with me being in athletics. So I went, cool. So I do
Yeah.
PE and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm way too fit right now for PE.
Like I'm in there just like rolling around, like, what's up, Randy? Hey. Oh.
We're sitting in the bleachers right now. Everybody else is doing stuff.
So I'm gonna
like,
my Game Boy out.
pretty much. And so did that. But I just told myself, like, okay, I'm going to pay attention when they do auditions and everything so that I am prepared. So my sophomore year, I was like, okay, you're going to audition for a show because I couldn't do any of the other stuff. I showed up there, so my first monologue I picked was Can You Dig It from The Warriors?
Can you dig it?
The future is ours. And if you can count. Go on, Cyrus. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
Because we got the street suckers. Can you dig it?
Warriors come out to play.
Yeah, so
Oh my
I did
God.
that one for
That's awesome.
Wizard of Oz. And so because here I am, I'm a newbie out of like everybody else who had seasoned person who's been there forever.
Yeah.
And they're all looking at me like, fuck is this guy?
Yeah, so what the
Like,
what the fuck?
and I'm like, okay, well, all right, then. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then we were told after we did our monologues to like, okay, you're given no sides or anything. Just pick a character and do it on stage.
Okay.
From Wizard of Oz, and it was like, oh,
And just do it with
and-
no scripts in hand.
no
or
prompts,
anything?
no nothing. So we just went up there, and
Interesting.
I saw a bunch of people doing the Scarecrow, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to be another person who does the Scarecrow. So I was
They're
like,
just like
nobody,
improvising. or
yeah,
something?
just improvising, just going up there.
Interesting choice. Okay.
Yeah, and so we know, and and so I go up there. And I just went, "Wow, fuck! Everybody's been doing the Scarecrow, and I really want to like flail my arms around and everything, but
Yeah.
fine. I'll. Nobody's done the 10 man. Like, well, why does anybody want to do the 10 man? So I was like, I'll do the 10 man. So I went up there, did the 10 man, and it was just like, we have our 10 man.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. Okay, I guess
Good deal.
I am the 10 man, and that was the very first show I got cast in, and then enjoyed it.
Right.
Didn't realize that that's not how theater was supposed to be handled.
Sure.
But
question. So this was it was purely out of like, I don't have anything else to do, or was there stuff when you were a kid that like, I want to do that?
So
was there anything like that ever?
I always had family members were telling me that like you're such a character, like you could easily like can see you on stage doing sort of things.
Yeah.
I always thought like, oh, acting just seems like it'd be really cool, and it's like you just kind of let loose, like you're getting paid to play make believe and bullshit
to lie
like,
to the camera
and
or on stage
and have an imagination and everything. So I was like, oh wow, this really goes to my ADHD, possibly a touch of the tism sort of mindset. And like, yes, I have found my people.
It was like,
I too am a burnt out, gifted, and talented kid. Please embrace me. I will do. Can you dig it?
What is do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite movie? Not favorite movie currently, but maybe a favorite movie when you were a kid that you were like, that, like I want to do that. You have anything like that when you were growing up?
Man, there's. I could say it's an easy start. But it's the
first thing that comes to mind.
It's like easily Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, or something like that. Yep. It was never. It was never really. Oh man, to be the lead in those, I was always like, oh man, to be a guy who's like in the full like orc prosthetic, just running around, and it's like, oh man, flesh, and like, looks like meat's back on the menu, boys, like that sort of thing. And I was like, oh hell
what
yeah!
What about their legs? They're fresh.
What about their legs? They're fresh, and like, yeah, it was more about just being these characters, like not something that's like super true to life.
Yes.
And that is what really stuck to me, or like any of the aliens in the background, or even like big inspiration, like the character Edgar from Men in Black, the first one.
Sugar water. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
the bad guy?
What are you doing in my truck? Oh yeah. Is this better?
Like, dude, you'd make a sick Edgar, bro.
Like, oh man, like that.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's
a stage production of Men in Black would be awesome.
Oh, or somebody would be like, we wouldn't get like a proper stage, like straight play. We would get like Men in Black the musical.
Oh, sure. Sugar water, sugar water.
Noisy cricket, up yours K. Noisy cricket, I don't play. I don't know.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. That'd be so sick.
Caffeine or decaf, worms, worms.
Oh yeah, dude, there'd be a million, like all the, like maybe even puppetry or just nimble people as the worms would be all over the place.
I was about to do like, just because we mentioned Total Recall, I was about to be like, Queen, start the reactor. Dun, dun, dun. But it's like, no, that's not. That's Total Recall. I'm thinking of the little. I'm trying to think of the little guy with the big head and
in the thing.
Yeah, in the human suit.
Oh my god!
Like,
I can't remember his little quote, but I know what you're talking about. The little guy.
He's galaxy.
Yeah.
Is in Orion's.
But yeah.
What's the word for belt?
Belt.
Yeah. Bouncy castle.
Yeah.
I don't remember what all they say. I haven't seen that movie in
been a while.
Probably. I can't.
But that's
20
awesome.
years.
That's awesome. So you have a really full theater high school career, I'd say. You have bangers. Anybody that was at Chinese Spring at that time, they definitely saw you on stage, and you were awesome in all of those things. Then you
There's
decided
a couple duds there. There was a couple duds. Oh, Aladdin was a dud. Aladdin was a dud. That one
Oh
was.
my god.
That one we were just trying to get through it
Yeah.
at that point. But
That's awesome.
the only thing I remember is like I was Jafar and I kept stabbing my eyes with the large like shoulder pads. I would turn and you like stab like fuck. This pillow that I'm wearing on my head that's supposed to be a turban is so freaking hot. I pull it off like melting.
Dude,
And then,
turbans are crazy.
oh man, no. So okay. I will say I can't get in trouble. Not my choice in this matter for this. So
I'll give you an out. Don't worry.
So when they were originally, I was playing the Jafar character in Aladdin. It wasn't called Jafar. It was called the Wicked Magician from Morocco. He just rolls right off the tongue.
It's like, this is the Wicked Magician from Morocco.
And so this was a musical adaptation that was from a 1920s version of it. There was a singing, dancing camel that sang songs all about how dry he was. It was the 30s it was the 20s because Prohibition.
Oh.
And so it was a singing, dancing camel always singing about how dry he is.
Right.
And
Interesting.
here I am playing this character, and they were initially like, everybody up there is a bit too white for the Middle East, so we're gonna try out some different skin tones. One of the first ones first ones they put me in. Yeah,
Brandy.
it is just as bad as you think it is. I saw myself after they put this on. I just went, no.
Oh my god.
No. And I was just like, one, I look more Indian than anything.
Yeah.
I was just like, no, China, no school, no school. We're gonna cut that like the Freudian slip of the name.
I think I've said it a million times.
Oh,
so
okay.
don't worry about it.
You can keep me saying like maybe we should cut that.
Yeah, no worries. No, high school theater as a whole, as an everything. There's a million beautiful stories across the American nation, from things that they've tried to attempt and are on video. Really funny stuff.
Sorry,
what do you got?
Because we're talking about like theater and
Yeah.
high school. So I saw for a critique, there was a school doing a play that was about the Confederacy.
Recently?
Well, it was a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
So they were doing this show, and in the year of our ethereal being in the 2020s, a school thought it was a good idea to have a white teenager up there in full regalia.
No way.
And
like in Texas? Like oh my god.
And
Interesting.
talking an awful lot like
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So was this a competition play or like a fall?
This was a competition play.
Jesus Christ.
And nobody thought like this was around the time like all like everybody who was getting found out of like you did this back in like as a college party, that sort of thing. And they were so like, oh no, this is acceptable.
Yeah. God, that is insane. Oof. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
That is honestly hilarious. It's hilarious to think that you have or to have to meet somebody with like the confidence to like, we're doing this. This is art. Like this is something.
Wow. We need to truly tell the story.
It's a thinker
of the Confederacy. The way it was meant to be told.
Fuck.
Oh, who was the playwright? Oh, I'm seeing the Daughters of the Confederacy. I think they were a legit group.
Seems pretty interesting.
That seems about right. I was like, yeah, that seems about right. We're trying to play about glorifying, and school was out of Austin.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Well, I mean, I guess that is a big area. You can call it, but you can call some, but still. I mean, yeah.
Like maybe some of like more hodunk schools you gotta think of, like
they're just like trying to make a statement, it's like, we're all gonna meet here.
I can see Mule Shoe doing this show.
So anyways, college.
Anyway,
it was like, so you took your expertise beyond high school theater. Thank God.
Hopefully didn't peak in high school.
Yeah. So what was your goals in college? Like what were you trying to do? Because I luckily got to partake in some college stuff with you, some performances with you, and those were all amazing and very, very fun.
We kept trying to make each other break.
Oh yeah,
that was trying to make each other break in every show we were in.
Our biggest game was just like, well, you know, if we can make the other one break on stage, then we're doing it. We're doing the best we can.
This might not be funny for the audience, but it's definitely funny for us.
And it was as simple as a look, like just like.
Or for you, 25 here.
Just core memory unlocked.
Oh, that will never relieve. Like
25 here.
You may cut those lines, but you leave him my monkey. Like that.
You're
oh yeah, just reach down there and find a little hole. Never mind. Like
you were given like a Tweedledee Tweedledum-esque like set of characters, and you really went for the dumb Tweedle. Like you were just like,
it's meant to be a joke on the upper class Russian empire, or Imperial Russian nobility, and it was like, oh, these guys are written to be the dumbest of the dumb, and I just went cool. And this one has a lisp.
Yes.
Perfect.
So, that's the shit I like. Like, let me tell you, that's the shit I like. And of course, I had to play opposite him
in a lot of scenes.
And you got to just like snuggle up right next to me. It's like 25, yeah. It's just like just sending the energy right into my brain.
Your Excellency, Mayor, I have news. No, I have news. We agreed it was my news. No, we did not. Yes, we did. You could put a lisp in Apple. I never.
That's probably like the only stuff I remember from.
The fact that you have those lines, what is it, like 12 years later? 10 years maybe? That's insane.
Well, I got off book so quickly.
What was the name of the show? It was
Government Inspector.
Government Inspector. I couldn't get the last word.
Love that play.
It's a very good show.
I still have the script for that. It's actually in my office now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll get to your office in just a second.
Oh my.
So we'll go to the office.
Oh.
Just we'll take a quick trip up to the office, sir.
Didn't buy me a drink first.
What was
I like to get wine and dine after I get fucked. Sexually.
Yeah. I like to
if you didn't know what I did.
Sexually. Fucking clear that up. Thank God.
I'm talking sex. I'm talking penetration of the bum. Porpoising.
What's your favorite show?
I'm talking about planting a flag on my moon landing.
All right, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We good.
What was
We're gonna have to cut most of those out.
What do you have a favorite show you have been in of all time?
So, Government Inspector. Government.
Yes.
Too late now.
No worries.
Sorry for the editing.
No worries.
So Government Inspector is definitely really up there with those. I've actually done used that same script, and I had a directing class, and I used that as like directing scenes. So I was like, no, we're going to do this.
Really?
And so many people, I introduced that play to so many people. They were like, what is this play? And I'm like, oh, this play's so good.
It's fun.
And so I did a directing scene. I did or directing class in government inspector. That one, equivocation, which was one of.
Okay, I'm not familiar.
It was before you went to the same college.
Okay.
And so it was like the school year before. So it was right before that.
Okay.
It's about Shakespeare writing Macbeth.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Fantastic play.
Yeah, I've heard of. Yeah. Shakespeare writing Macbeth. Yeah.
That one. I recently did Macbeth.
Really?
Yes. At.
You can say it if you like. I've already said it a bunch of times in other episodes, but
You mentioned where the legends.
the legends. Yes, all the legendary things happen because KP's been on here.
Oh, okay. Slato.
Oh, and Slato, yes.
Yeah, so it was in Slato. We did Mackie B. I will say this. Thank God we had 2 runs of that show. The first was garbage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was Mackie B, and it was one of those things like I know lines. I was off book for a month in advance before we even went out there, and it was just something about not having enough rehearsals before we did that.
It's always like that with the Salato shows, that's for sure. But that's the kind of the fun of it. It's kind of a Wild West, it's a rodeo.
Definitely a Wild West, and I can laugh about my fuck ups. I literally had a moment where I was supposed to say like not like any of the big monologues. No. I did those just fine. This was just like a little soliloquy towards the audience in like the second scene of the play, and I turned to the audience and just went, and walked away because my brain went completely blank on the line. I was like, I'm not gonna let these people watch me struggle.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go.
We're just gonna skip it.
And so it threw everybody else off. Like,
where are we?
Macbeth just left.
Yeah,
he just left. And I went back there. I went, fuck. but yeah. So Macbeth, fun show. The Country Wife.
Don't know it.
I did. Oh, you would love The Country Wife.
Okay.
So it's Restoration period English play about a bunch of nobles or like British nobility all trying to cuckold each other. So they're all trying to go around sleeping with each other's wives, and one of their friends just got married, and he knows how his friends are, and he's like, I have to keep my wife a secret. And because she's not from the city, so she doesn't know the game.
That sounds right up my alley.
So she's from the country, and they're like, oh, you know what they say about country girls. And he's like, you motherfucker. Son of a bitch, don't do that. And so it's a lot of like, oh. Hello. And there's a whole scene where it's a guy just going at it with another guy's wife, and so like not the guy who's married to the country wife, but it's another guy who's like, is everything all right there, darling? And she's like, oh yeah. He's like, oh, you sound disturbed. Should I call a doctor? He's like, no, it'll pass. Like, oh, are you sure? And like, it is like banging on the door. Like there is no question what's going on. Everybody else in the scene is like, but they're just like, he's essentially like the play's Butters.
Yeah, sure.
But he's just so naive in the whole thing, and he thinks that he's like this ravishing, like, oh, I played the game just well.
Yeah.
Yes. And they're like, we've all cuckolded them. We've all done it.
We've all cuckolded him.
It's like, oh no, he was in the room when I cuckolded. But Yeah,
So you said it's the Country
the
Wife?
Country Wife.
Interesting.
It's solid play. Highly recommend the Country Wife. If you just think like, oh, it's a period comedy, it's not gonna be funny. It's funny. It is really funny. Did that one.
So those are your top 3, probably. Or top 4, I guess. I think you did. Yeah. Government Inspector, Equivocation,
I'm trying to.
Country Wife, and Macbeth.
I will say
4.
like, I wouldn't say like it's a top 10 or anything like that, but it was just a fun show that I did relatively recently. It was musical comedy Murders of 1940. And I played a German SS officer disguised as an Irish tenor.
Your favorite role.
And so I always had to come out there and start doing this sort of thing and talking to everybody. And then it's like, oh my God, these stupid Americans, what are they doing? And then and then in the middle of a scene having to switch, like, oh shit, they're on to me. How you doing? I'm Tony.
Oh my God.
And I'm on this case. And they're just like, oh shit. Like, it's like, who are you with?
Master of Disguise.
I'm like, NYPD. And who the fuck are you? Like, that sort of thing. Like, oh shit. And then it's like, he's German. Like, you found me. And so, yeah, it is a fun show, but it's kind of in the same vein as like murder mystery comedy, like Clue.
That sounds really fun.
And yeah, and it was very much like, well, who do we have around that can do this?
And they look right at you.
I'm like,
yes.
All right,
please, can you please?
I'm like, okay.
If you don't mind,
yes.
Do you mind telling me a little bit about your continued education after you went away from MCC?
So after it, I could say the name of the school doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, doesn't?
Yeah. So I got my degree from Santa Fe University of Art and Design. I'm going to skip over Texas Tech because I don't recommend them. Yeah, shots fired, but it was like, yeah, like,
exactly.
Have fun with that Raider rash.
Literally.
You can get it from the toilet seats there. Anyway, I went to Santa Fe University of Art and Design in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It was a fantastic school. Like, you have so many professors who love the arts, who just love teaching, have so much experience in that field, so they are not going to bullshit you on what the industry is like. And it was such a shame, like when they closed. Like, luckily, I was second to last class to graduate that. And after I left, then they finally made the announcement.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because we did Henry V. Like, because after we did that, I left to go get my degree, to go pick it up, or to walk for the ceremony.
Sure, yeah.
And shortly after that, got the announcement that that following year was going to be the last year they were going to be open, and they closed. And it was just, they put all their eggs in one basket with hoping that this South Korean company would help them out, or all their contacts in Hollywood, because they had one of the largest film lots in the Midwest. And so they filmed Longmire, they filmed Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul,
like at the campus. Yeah,
well, not
like at the thing that they owned.
Yeah, so they had lots, and they filmed all around New Mexico. For any, like, Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, they were definitely filming all around New Mexico.
Yeah.
The Manhattan Project was the one that was the big one that was filmed on their lot. And little fun digression with that one is that they had their test A-bomb that was in like the big drop scene in that series. It was sitting out in our parking lot outside of the theater.
Wow.
And here I am up there during the summer, just like going for a walk, and I see that, and I had a Finding Nemo moment. I was like, I'm going to touch the butt. And I just looked around like the only person for like a mile, like,
yeah. I'm going to touch
slapped it and ran away.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
that's so interesting. I didn't know that.
And then their set burned down, or everybody believes it was arson.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. Holy shit.
Yeah, because it was happened around the time that once it was out there that the school would not be continuing on.
Yeah.
That it's believed that maybe some like disgruntled students or something like that decided
Wow.
fuck it
Really?
and just burned it down.
So where were you? Where were you?
Where was I? I was in Texas. I was in Texas going, I need a job.
Do you care to share? You don't have to. What you're doing now?
So,
because I find it incredibly interesting, especially like with my lore. But if you know, we can move on. We can talk about other stuff. It doesn't matter.
Kelly's already mentioned the school before.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Then,
Yes.
yeah. So I work at McLean Community College
Woo!
in the Visual and Performing Arts Department, and I am the Performing Arts Facility Technician. So any and all events that we have using any of our theater spaces, I run like a general setup and tech for any of their events.
That's so badass.
Yeah, it's like it's.
I think it's badass.
Yeah, it's like it is fun. And it's really opened open things up for me to like, okay, going more into doing technical theater, even though like my degree is all acting and everything.
Yes, but yeah,
I've also leaning towards hopefully somewhere in like near not too distant future to start working on trying to get my master's degree so that I can get that and possibly into like theatrical design.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
So many students think I am a professor there. The way how like I just talked about certain things, they're like, "Oh, he's clearly a professor," and then they're surprised that like he's not a professor.
The way, yes, I want to say so. Like, I won't mention his name, but you replaced a fellow of McLennan College lore, theater lore. And his name was Amphibious, and I'll leave it at that. And yeah, for those that are of the lore can dive deep, and yes. And it was just like, it was whenever I found out, because when I came back to watch a show and I saw you, and I went back and I found you, I was like, this is perfect. This is everything's right in the world here. Like it's like you know, and I was just talking to Mitchell, and I told him, I was like, you know what Randy is? And he was like, you know, he's the new, and he was just like, what? That's awesome.
He's the new Newt, right?
And yeah, so I think it's awesome, and you know, you've definitely done a lot with that space back there, and it looks great. And
so that's no longer an office now.
Really?
So like I now have an actual proper office now.
Really? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So like that's actually a relatively new thing.
Oh.
Just because major shifts around changing of a lot of professors retiring, leaving, and so forth.
Beautiful.
So some spaces have opened up, and so that's just like a full rotation of like, all right, here's offices that are going to be available. Who wants them? And so people like scrambling to like, I want this, and then like people moving in, like some newer people that don't get much of a say. Like, you're an adjunct, you get the community office. And there was a professor the semester before who got fired. He just didn't show up.
Okay.
He just didn't show up, and then everybody was scrambling like, where are you? And she wasn't responding.
Really?
And
that's
like,
wild.
Okay. And so everybody forgot he had an office.
Except you.
And it was the assistant to the department chair was walking with me and we're talking, and she just went, this guy got fired. Hold on. I think he had an office. And then I was like, okay. And then go over there and open the space up. I was like, this room is massive.
Yeah.
And I just went, I'm gonna put a claim out there before anybody else does. And granted, I had to tell my boss, I fully understand the professors come first.
Sure.
However, I don't want to get wood lung being in my current place because I breathe so much better now since I've left that space.
Bet. Yeah. And I bet a lot of the the cleanup was crazy.
Oh my gosh, I have so many knickknacks that
because this is for those that listen. It's like a, where you were before. It was like a
tool storage closet.
Tool storage, a lot of wood shavings from just like years and years of neglect before he was there.
Yeah, there was sawdust that had been laying on the floor for so long. It had adhered and formed essentially wood. It was being wood once again.
Yeah.
It was reborn. It's a phoenix wood. And
rise up.
Yeah, it would rise up very slowly, but it'll rise up. And it was just caked. It was everywhere. I had plushies very, very similar to Squirtle here that were just like being discolored, like how much sawdust was just in the air. And I'd keep my door closed, but that's just how much would get in
there. Yeah.
And then anytime they were cutting masonite, plywood, anything that would get like really fine dust, like masonite, that's already going to be an irritant. That would just, I sit there going like, in my office.
Yeah, your voice, and your voice is a big instrument for you, and like you can't fuck with that, dude.
Yeah. I would just, Grant, I rarely get sick, but I would just be sitting in there like,
yeah,
I feel awful.
Yeah,
like, why is my throat all sore and scratchy?
Yeah, dude.
Like, oh yeah,
that's for real. Well, congratulations, and like I wish you a ton of luck on like whether you continue with your masters or whatever you do in the future, because like I think what you're doing is awesome. Because like when I came back and saw, I was just like, dude, like I was just like, what the hell, this is awesome. And so yeah,
one of the best compliments I got from, I can't remember if it was a professor or a student, just told me that it feels welcoming now.
Yeah, for sure.
As opposed to like, stay away.
Like a fortress with like spikes pointed at you from all around.
It's like, oh, there's a no trespassing sign here. If I go any further, I'm gonna get shot.
Yeah, it's like, are these caltrops? Like, what? Well, that's amazing. Now we do have to do some stuff for the show here. Now
we know, an appetizer.
Now we know Randy, and now Randy is part of the WIMP universe. Do you have an impression? You've already done a million. We've already done like a million just you sitting here. But if you brought one specifically that you'd like to share,
okay,
an actor, a celebrity, a character, somebody in your life, a fax machine.
So I do have a lot to pick from, but this is one that for some reason just
flex.
Sorry, he's gonna love humble brag. So.
Oh yeah, and take a nice swig. Take a nice swig there. Get your lips ready.
Probably not a lot of people in the audience will know this person, but the actual person name is Paul Lynn.
Okay.
And Paul Lynn, pretty big actor, comedic actor during like late 60s and all through the 70s. So like a lot of like that sitcom
deep
stuff.
Cut guy.
And like got very famous on Hollywood Squares.
Okay, so yeah, there's gonna be some people that know. I personally do not know this person.
Now,
go on.
If you know the original movie of Charlotte's Web.
Okay.
Templeton.
Okay.
This actor is also Seth MacFarlane's inspiration for Roger.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And so Paul Lynn always talks like this. I'm just a bitch. And so he's always gonna be talking something like this over here. Or I always like to just do a full Paul Lynn and do a Roger line. It's like, oh my God, there's a bear claw in my ass. What can you do with a hand sticking out of a box? Well, plenty. And I have...
That's your go-to.
I don't know where it came from. That I was like, oh yeah, Paul Lynn. Out of like,
That's
it's
awesome.
not my age demographic. It's like, oh yeah, hell yeah, Paul Lynn out of all people. But it was just something that was like, oh yeah, this voice, this person, just randomly went like, I wonder if I could even do that. And I think it was for auditions for Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Interesting.
I went. It's a musical. It's my first year.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm gonna really get cast like everybody else like can actually sing. So I'm gonna not half-ass it, but I'm just gonna do something that's no one else is gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went in there and it was like, Mr. Coney Bear, please spell capybara. Can you use capybara in a sentence? Sure. Or what's the definition of capybara?
Paul Lynn is playing all the characters now, which is honestly better in my opinion.
It was like, sure. Capybara, a 4-foot largely aquatic mammal of the Amazon. And it's like, oh, can you use it in a sentence? Sure. Don't look now, Pedro. But I think that 4-foot largely aquatic mammal swimming next to us might be a capybara. My favorite line in the entire show. And I just did that. And the director was like,
stunning.
Yeah. Oh, very much. I got the part as soon as I did that.
You're hired.
And I was like, don't mind me, my blood sugar's low. And I did the same voice. Like it was like such a quick throwaway when we did Hairspray together.
Oh.
So when I had to once again play a vice principal, it's like, Tracy Turnblend,
Yep.
once again, your monumental hair don't has obscured everyone's view of the blackboard.
I remember
It was
that.
like,
you had to come on and basically like steal the show for a second there. That was hilarious.
That was a show I wanted nothing to be part of. And I had to play like 4 different parts in it.
You had like the rotating role situation there.
I was the Flasher lives next door. Paul Lynn.
We're just like Flasher lives. Well, that's Randy, and then
No, it was someone else who was supposed to be the Flasher, and then they dropped out.
Oh,
and then they just
interesting.
went, "Hey, Randy,
yeah.
so
Can you
you're
flash us?
Can you be the Flasher?" And so I would have romantic partner at the time would draw a fully erect and very triumphant member on my chest.
Like
And, no, like
just to show because you're flashing upstage.
yeah, I'm flashing upstage, so the audience never sees this. This is
Yeah.
only towards the cast.
Yeah.
And so I put on like the shortest of short booty shorts that I could hide in a trench coat, and I come out there and I just whip that bad boy open, and everybody just sees a veiny triumphant member drawn on my chest. And then I think underneath it, like on the man pillows was Boo. But no one was looking at that.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's awesome. Because you never know, and like it is safe to assume that when you see something that is like only shown, like when it's on stage and it's only shown to the other actors on stage, it's never revealed to the audience. It's safe to assume there's something fucked up on it. Like, you know, like if someone. My favorite thing, if you have a notepad and you have to, and you have to like, it's like Randy's playing himself, and it's like, Randy, look at my notes, and you show him, and it's just like,
You always write the most vile shit that no one is ever gonna see.
and they have to look at it, it's like, oh my god, it works. And it just says like, oh my god.
that was pretty much all of equivocation because it's mostly Shakespeare sitting there writing.
Oh,
Macbeth.
yeah. That's
so
right.
He was just like
I do remember that now.
Penises.
Yeah.
penises.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, fuck my life. It's like, I want a Sunday right now, or just
Yeah.
weird,
just
weird
to throw
stuff.
everybody out. Like, if somebody picks it up, just like, this is insane.
Like, this is the ravings of a madman.
Yeah. He's like, oh, my Lord.
Wow.
My Lord.
Wow.
Well, Randy, before you go, I do have one more question to ask. And I've asked a few people this, and the number is growing. It's a hypothetical. It has nothing to do with theater, really. But if you were chosen to be in a 50-person battle royale, these people are chosen from all over the world, ages 18 and up, all ages, anybody can be selected randomly, but you are randomly selected. And each of these 50 people in this battle royale situation gets to bring one melee weapon with them. Can't be a bow, can't be anything, ranged at all. What do you choose? And it is battle to the death, last man or woman standing.
Battle towards the death.
Yes. Towards
Towards the death.
Ooh. Think long and hard.
It's thinking of something like tactically.
Mm-hmm.
It would see my initial thoughts.
The thing is, too many weapons is the problem. It's easier for someone that with less knowledge.
It's like you want something that would, like, nobody wants to mess with you. So like, there's initial thought
an
of
intimidation factor for sure.
like, this is not my choice. There's initial thought that it's like, oh, there's this. I can't remember the name of it, but it's
Mhm.
Indian whip sword.
Oh, okay.
Which is just like, it's a flimsy metal that you're supposed to be a master of a sword and a whip before you can even wield this
Sure,
thing. And it's just a
sure.
bunch of like metal, like sheets of metal flapping all over the
Mhm.
place. I'm like, yeah, if anybody sees that, they're going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to go anywhere near this guy.
Right.
But you're also a huge detriment to yourself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
probably 9 times out of 10, like, yeah, you took yourself out. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So, whoops. Oh no.
And I would initially be like, oh yeah, like a spear, but it all depends like how much like space. But if you're in a closed area, spear is not very ideal.
What I've discussed previously, and the parameters are a little loose, but you can imagine a large, very large Colosseum-esque arena with, some obstacles and climbing features, but not very tall, maybe some pits with spikes in them scattered throughout, but it's nothing too sophisticated.
Okay. I guess I would have to go with like a two-handed, either like,
Because you're a
Oh,
big guy.
oh,
You're a big guy,
like a
Randy.
two-handed mace or like a warhammer, but
Hell
not like the super heavy like warhammers you see that like
Yeah.
from Warhammer 40K like
40,
Warhammer
yeah,
like
I was literally
like
about
that.
to say, I was just like, okay, all right.
No.
Yeah,
No,
I got you.
something more of like a proper
A proper one.
mace.
This, yes.
Just because like you have that advantage of if somebody's wearing armor, this is the only thing that could really do some damage to somebody who is in
Sure.
armor. With like a sword, if everybody has like some sort of armor, it's like you could still like.
It is safe to assume that everyone is wearing something protective. You don't really get to choose, but everybody's got the same amount of like protection to give you a fighting chance against a given blade. You know what I mean?
Everyone is wearing the bulletproof cod piece from Super Troopers.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. So two-handed mace or hammer, long, like real long. Probably.
Like not just tricky. Like how probably like I would say like maybe 5 at the max reach, but probably close to like 3 to 4 because like I have long arms, so like
Yeah.
I can
Keep
make
'em
up for
keep 'em
that.
away. Yeah.
And it's just more of like it's got the momentum that it can really take people out. While with
Yeah.
a sword, you have to like really try to get in there
Get
and
in there.
stab them. But if
Absolutely.
you have chainmail, you have a really good chance of surviving a sword.
Sure. Do you think you could make it out of the 50 if they were randomly selected?
Like
There's a chance that there's some serious contenders, but if they're random, I'm talking about like any age. Like they it's a brutal. They just throw people in there that are like all like might be they're failing in their health. Who knows? Anybody 18 or older can get chosen across the world.
Okay, it's good you remind me that's 18 or older, because there were times
Yeah.
I was thinking like, oh man, it's just gonna look like that scene with the guy who's in not a ball pit, but he's in like a
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he's just taking children out and they're all like jumping on trampolines and stuff. He's just like,
He's like, I'm a beast. I'm a monster.
um,
Do you think you can make it? Do you have it? Do you have that dog in you?
I don't see I don't see myself making it to the very end. I guess probably last
You could
a
probably-
while.
You
but I
could get
don't-
top 10 easy just from even being like just from stature, like people like because like if there's people starting decent distance away, they're probably gonna look at you and be like, oh, not yet. Like I'm gonna let somebody else like take him down a little, you know what I mean, like before I mess with him, because you're a big guy, on average no one's gonna be as tall as you out there, average height.
Yeah, I guess on average.
Yeah,
But it's also like sort of thing. It's like, yeah, I'm as tall as I am, but it's like, yeah, the average is significantly shorter.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do have to think of it that way.
Intimidation alone, I think, gets you to top 10 for sure.
But I guess I could accept
Yeah,
that. It's one of those things, like I don't think
you don't wanna say it's like I'd murder them all.
no. I'm just like, no, once you get that inflated ego, then it's like there it is. The fall is even greater.
Yeah, because then people are like, we gotta get him first. everybody together, let's get him.
Wow, this motherfucker on top of the king of the hill keeps saying, hell yeah, I am immortal, I am legion.
Yeah.
Bow before me, peons. And they're like, all right, this guy's got to go down. Archers.
Yeah. Literally.
Jed, you did say any weapon.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh shit.
Huh, I was really hoping that it kind of in that closing area, archery wasn't going to be a...
Well,
thing.
archery is off limit. Like
Okay.
it's on like anything ranged is off limits. But yes, there could be like, people on the outside, like making sure people don't break the rules. What if there are other rules or whatever, just like put people down. But yeah, it's a fucked
It's
up.
like Squid Games. You're trying to get...
Seriously, it's a fucked up hypothetical, but I asked one person, and then like a bunch of people came just like, so you asked me that, don't forget to ask me that question. I'm like, what? Okay, cool. And so now I'm like, okay, now I got to ask everybody, because eventually I'll just have a super cut of all like 50 people, and it's like, who wins out of all of these weapon choices?
Guess what? We've rented the Coliseum.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we're going to put this hypothetical to
That'll
you.
be the first Worst Impressions live shows. Like, we're doing it. We've got 50 contestants.
We got the budget.
yeah. It's like
Here
to
we
the
go.
death.
We got 1 million followers. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, guess what? I told you it was Nerf. I lied.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have 5 minutes.
These are real blades. Okay.
Oh man, I'm competing against Star Wars kid.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man, his skills.
The skills are so good.
Oh,
They're
skills-
so
he-
good.
He got so much better.
If you would star in a movie about your favorite hobby or video game or book, what would that be?
See, initially I would say like something that'd be like a film like the Dungeons and Dragons movie. I would say something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
However, it'd be like, oh my god, there's no like set characters in that
But
sort
I
of thing.
mean,
But like,
you could like it in your world. It could,
Yeah. But right now, I like that. That's initially that's up high. That's up high.
What were we saying? Oh yeah, what movie? Yeah, what movie would you want to be in, star in, and like direct and like create based on your favorite hobby, video game, or book?
So, I initially was saying Dungeon Dragons.
Yeah.
However, right now, because it something more established, there are actual like characters that like really exist. Like Dungeon Dragons have his own characters and all that, but Warhammer,
Dude, yeah, dude. Okay, we gotta talk about this. We gotta talk about Warhammer. Okay, so 40K or
so for this, I'll say fantasy, but I love both. So we'll get that straight.
Okay.
Like,
so you want to do fantasy Warhammer?
Like
Okay,
fantasy Warhammer.
interesting.
Play a Skaven.
Okay.
Like play a little nasty rat man.
yeah.
Scree, we need to go do this. Oh, we got big bang bang. Go and do the bang bang. Blood, squash, Hitchcock murder.
Like that sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
or even some from Nurgle. Like once again, like a nasty.
Those. Oh my god. I honestly like that like fantasy Warhammer. The Nurgles like turn me off. I'm just like take me back to 40K because they're just so gross. Like with the open like stomachs and like
they have them in 40K as well. They're just that way.
Yeah, I just like I don't know. Maybe I just like the big Space Marines
the
more.
Demons are exactly the same in both fantasy,
Right? No,
and,
I know.
40K. So I'm just like Papa Nurgle.
Yeah,
Papa Nurgle.
So are you keeping up with like Henry Cavill, like trying to spearhead the 40K movie and all that stuff?
I knew he was only like because I know he's a huge fan of 40K. I know he's essentially like the mocap. He's going to be like a character in one of the recent games. I saw them like have him like remove his
no, you're good.
Remove his helmet, and I was like, that's Henry Cavill.
Yeah, it look like I hope they do it R and get it bloody and everything because that's what it needs.
It needs to be like it's grim dark, but there's also a dark sense of humor to all of it. Like the orcs are fucking amazing.
I know, and they could be done really well. Like they could be done. It could be the best thing ever.
It's almost like it is a double-edged sword. If you have people who love the source material and want to like give it justice, that with everything, especially like just for like recent stuff, to date this Deadpool and Wolverine, where it's like, that's a love letter to those comics and everything. Like these actors who've been playing these characters are like wanting to play these characters and all that. Like that is what you need.
Yep. Because it could especially for me 40K. Yeah, it could get to the Deadpool Wolverine level. It's got that there, but yeah, you need people that care about it to spearhead it and everything. But we got to talk about that, man. Because I'm excited for Space Marine 2. There's a new game coming out in the 40K universe. It just looks awesome. But yeah, man, that's pretty sick. That's a good choice in my opinion. Because a lot of people could go D&D, and we get a lot to talk about with that too. We'll definitely have to have you back, Randy.
Oh yeah.
Did you have fun here today?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of fun. Definitely.
Well, everybody, welcome Randy to the Wimpverse, Worst Impressions universe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate 5 stars wherever you're listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please like it, subscribe on there. Let me know how you like it in the comments. For those super fans, don't forget to join the Patreon. And we have a very fun Discord chat on there, and it's a blast. And thank you, my existing patrons, for supporting and letting this little channel grow. Is there anything you'd like to share before we sign off, Randy? Do you want to plug anything? You want to plug any socials or any shows you might be doing?
I'm not doing anything right now. I'm sorry, I'm boring.
Do you want people to find you online? Or no?
Legally?
I might.
I don't have anything out there that's worth anything.
Well, you can find him right here, folks. And I'll be spamming a bunch of clips of this because it is always fun to hang out with Randy. He's definitely going to come back a bunch, I hope. So
I hope so too.
This was great. This was easy. This was fun. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets. And good night.
Stay classy, San Francisco.